Emigration is way up again. Yes, emigration. That's Canadians leaving the country for good. It's on a record new high as the country fails to compete. Who is this going to affect the most? That's right, people who rely on the tax dollars, pensioners. Ladies and gents, welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Clyde. Welcome to the channel. Subscribe button's just down there. Hit that. Let's get into today's story. Because after this long weekend, we got news on Friday, of course. And this news reminded me of this amazing quote by Thomas Sowell. It's hard to imagine a more stupid or more dangerous way of making decisions than by putting those decisions in the hands of people who pay no price for being wrong. That's right. Who's making decisions in Canada? Well, according to these people, the joke's there, the Bradford boomer. Well, the elbows went up and we elected this guy. That's right. Carney, who's using the propaganda outfits to say, hey, you know what? We've got fiscal anchors. Don't worry, folks. We're doing just fine here. Well, that was the rude awakening came on Friday, as the PBO, the parliamentary budget officer, came forward, the new parliamentary budget officer, mind you, came forward to say, no, we're not doing hot. We're not doing so hot. In fact, we're doing really poorly. As Liberal MP here asked the PBO, Jason Jacques, whether Canada is better off than other countries. The answer was the same. This is unsustainable. It's actually really bad.
And obviously, you project, so we're on a good fiscal path, or we're on a better fiscal path than some of our G7 colleagues, and you project our deficit staying under 2% of GDP and debt holding near the low 40% range. Would you agree that these kinds of thresholds are really, in practice, fiscal anchors that signal some discipline?
I would go back to one of the comments I made at the outset that like the most important word in the release this morning was unsustainable. We like it. I don't know. We didn't choose it carelessly. I've been in the office for 17 years. I was working in the federal government putting together budgets for 10 years prior to that. You got to be like, you choose these words with prudence and care. And certainly we don't want to be alarmist. And at the same time, like the current path we're on in terms of federal debt as a share of the economy is unsustainable.
Unsustainable, absolutely unsustainable. He later went on to add an analogy that just was really fitting, actually.
I would say, like for myself, the analogy is, I don't know, you're 200 pounds overweight and you have 50% body fat, and everybody else in your group, in your weight loss group, has 75% body fat and is like 400 pounds overweight and can't get out of bed. So, yeah, like we're in a more advantageous position, and in many ways, that's the opportunity where we can hopefully move. We have space and time where we can move quickly to rectify the situation.
He's really being optimistic here. In fact, it's really bad. And what are we doing? Well, we're stuffing our faces more. That's right. We're getting more. We'll get back to that. But we're stuffing our faces more. I guess Carney didn't listen to the dire warnings interim PBO said over the last couple of days, because we're going to give a bunch more money to an industry that has no customers. We just really don't have customers to be giving $500 million in federal and Ontario loans to Algoma Steel. We don't have this, especially when they don't have anyone to sell the stuff to. Now, Franco Terrazzano of the Taxpayers Federation puts this blankly. Our finances are in a mess, and the deficit will increase very sharply. And let's just be honest here. If we can't pay our bills, guess who doesn't get paid? Pensioners. This is the accurate thing. If you want to save pensioners, we need to get our house in order.
Breaking news, folks. The parliamentary budget officer just released its budget outlook, and things are bad. Things are very bad, okay? The alarm bells should be ringing. It is time for the government in Ottawa to end the debt-fueled spending spree. Okay, so the PBO is projecting this year's deficit to increase sharply to $68.5 billion. Okay, almost a $70 billion deficit this year. Interest charges on the debt will cost taxpayers $55 billion this year, more money than what the federal government is spending or sending to the provinces in healthcare transfers.
Unbelievable.
So let that sink in for a second. Debt interest charges costing you more than $1 billion every single week. And interest charges on the debt will reach $80 billion in 2030. Debt interest charges, folks.
Interest charges bigger than our deficit. This is unbelievable. And no wonder they're saying unsustainable. How can we pay interest rates that are interest payments that are more than we actually spend on many other things? Especially pensioners, giving people, and as more boomers retire, this is going to get more and more difficult. Now, Pierre Poilievre was asked about the budget. Are you going to support the budget?
When there's things to support, oppose them when necessary. When it comes to the budget, where are you going to land on that? Are you going to support it?
Which budget?
The one November 4th that was announced today.
Do you have a copy you can give me?
I don't,
Okay,
but
when you get one, then I'll answer your question.
are there anything that Poilievre...
There is no budget. That's the short answer there. There is no budget. We've been promised one in November. I think, how many months are we behind on receiving a budget? This is something that they're supposed to give forward. It's supposed to be the glue that holds the government together, but nonetheless, this is what's happening. And what's the outcome of this? Well, as I alluded to at the beginning of the video, that's right. Canadians moving abroad, emigration. People are saying, forget this place, I'm out. I have a life to live. I can't wait around for the government to finally make some smart decisions. I'm just going to take my ball and find a new home. That's it. I'm not going home. We're finding a new one altogether. Canadians aren't just sending money abroad. They're sending themselves. StatsCan data shows that emigration climbed again in Q2 of 2025, setting a record for Canadians permanently leaving over a 12-month period. The steady climb underscores Canada's failure to compete as more talent and capital ahead for greener pastures. That's right. Emigration, why you should care. Emigration, of course, being people leaving, not immigration, the mass immigration that we've been seeing. That's right. People leaving the country is emigration, and this is what they spell it out for us. Emigration is when Canadians leave permanently. People leave for many reasons, but rising and persistent outflows are a red flag signaling a lack of opportunity. At its core, it's about Canada failing to compete globally. The first to leave are usually prime-age skilled workers with resources to make the move. The people Canada can't afford to lose. These are the people, this is what they talk about, the brain drain. When those people leave, this is really bad news. And this is really bad news for pensioners. It's really bad news for anyone who is sticking around. And to think that, well, where are we going to get our tax revenue from? We're just going to get it from Uber drivers? Well, that's the plan, apparently. The people Canada can't afford to lose, those with fewer skills rarely have the resources to move, even if they really want to. And I hear this a lot on the channel. Of course, I have plans to move. I'm taking my family down to Texas in short order as soon as immigration. And this is probably what the delay is for a lot of people, and why it's starting to happen now, because people are actually finally, the immigration paperwork is finally going through, and a lot of people are able to take off. Policymakers tend to shrug this off, focusing on net population gains. One lost human capital tax unit isn't a problem if we can attract two more, right? Unfortunately, it's clear to any non-psychopath. I can't believe this is amazing writing. Unfortunately, it's clear to any non-psychopath that swapping one skilled worker for two retirees or an outgoing doctor for 5 students isn't an equal trade. The logic they're embracing is more fitting for a pump and dump stock market scam than governance. Emigration is also undercounted. Most people don't notify the government that they're of their permanent relocation, or pay the final tax bill on assets deemed disposed when they leave. Their absence may have just been a really long vacation, right? Before 2025, Canada tracked border inflows, but not outflows, making it impossible to know just how many people left for good. Bonus fun fact, we previously estimated, and StatsCan later confirmed, that the same methodology gap led to immigration being overstated for decades. If inflating long-term inflows by about 1 in 7 people, that may partially explain why housing experts argue that Canada has always underbuilt housing, but it didn't feel like that until immigration was used to manufacture a shortage of post-pandemic. Canadians are leaving for other countries in record volumes. Canadians permanently relocating to another country in 12-month rolling sum is just increasing more and more and more. And again, these are the more skilled people in society. Again, people who are able to move, people who have the cash flow to get out of here and the skills to take to other countries so that they can get on with, I don't know, real immigration systems. Like most other countries, if you want to get into that country, you have to come with skills. You have to come with a certain set of skills or ability to do things, a business, something like that. No, not like Canada, where you just come in with your hands open and Canada is willing to take you on. This is a serious issue, and I have to raise this, and people need to be shouting this one from the hilltops. Canada's brain drain is real. This is really happening, and it's happening because of our fiscal crisis, and it's only snowballing the effect of what's happening. I'd love to hear your comments in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you in the next one. Keep on trusting.